Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Movie Reviews. This is episode number 37 and triple feature number 5. I'm sorry I haven't put up a video in the past couple of days, but I had to find movies to review. This one is all the films for the House on Haunted Hill franchise. There have been 3 released. You have the original film, which is on this disc. That's another thing. What is this thing? Okay, now this is from this right here. 50 movies. This is basically all public domain movies. Yeah, that's how I got the original House on Haunted Hill. Yep, that's how I got it, on a public domain thing. Yep, 50 films. And do you know how much these things cost? $20. Yeah, $20 to find one of these things, and you get yourself 50 classic public domain movies. Now, this film was released in 1959. The film was originally released in black and white, and it starred horror icon Vincent Price. Now, he was the horror icon for like the 50s to about, I'd say, the 70s, I believe it was. The film was directed by William Castle, the same guy who directed the original 13 Ghosts. Let's see. There it is. The House on Haunted Hill, which was remade. It starred, there's not Vincent Price, it starred Carolyn Craig, Elisha Cook, Carol Osmert, Alan Marshall, Julie Mitchum, and Richard Long. The film itself is not very long. It's only an hour and 15 minutes. Pretty much, it's just Vincent Price, who's the host of the film. He plays a guy named Frederick Lauren, and he's throwing a party at a haunted house for his wife, who was played by Carol Osmert, and it's pretty much inviting 5 random people to this party, and their purpose is to they get some money out of this. The reward. Now this is 1950s. In the remake I'll talk about soon, which I have it right here with me. The award for spending the night in this place is $10,000. And an alleged haunted house. I mean, it looks like an actual house, unlike in the remake, which is something else which I'll get to soon. The film itself is done really well by William Castle. It's one of 2 films I've seen that he's actually directed. The other, of course, is the original 13 Ghosts. Now, like 13 Ghosts, this was remade in 1999. Of course, this was the first film that the company Dark Castle basically did. Second one they did was 13 Ghosts, which I'll get to House on Hill soon. It's a pretty interesting movie. There's some scares here, and there's actual skeleton in the movie, and there's only one death, and it's the wife. Yeah, Vincent Price's character wants to get away killing his wife. The film itself is pretty much almost 60 years old. It is 57 years old. The film was released in 59, so it's 57 years old. The film was actually pretty interesting to watch, especially for a 50s budget. This movie is really, it's a bit scary, but not as creepy as the remake, which I'll get to soon. But, interesting film. I give it a 8 out of 10. It's a pretty decent film. Alright, now for the remake, which was released by Dark Castle, their very first film they ever released. Yes. This film is basically, it's similar to the original film. The only difference is it's set not in the 80s like the original film. This one's present day. And okay, they also made House of Wax, which I have not seen the remake for House of Wax. I forgot about that, but this film only has one familiar star to me that I recognize, and that's Frankie Jameson. Some people who know her from the X-Men films, she's known for playing Jean Grey. Just make sure that she, I think, plays the spoiled wife in this one. I believe so. Yeah, she is the wife. Pretty much the guy's name In the remake, it's changed from the other one, which, let's see. I have info on Wikipedia. I'm bringing this up. The original one, Vincent Price's character was Frederick Lorne. In the remake, his name is, let's see. Ooh, Jeffrey Combs is in here too. He's another guy I recognize. His name is Stephen Price. Okay, so you want to do a nod to Vincent Price. Okay, have a character name after him? Fine. Perfectly fine. Even though his real name was not Vincent, it's Stephen Price. Jeffrey Combs is in this movie. Now, some people who do not know who Jeffrey Combs is, he's an awesome actor. He's known for being on Star Trek. He's playing characters like Weyoon, who's the Vorta from Deep Space Nine, and Brunt, the Ferengi, who's sort of an antagonist of Rom and Quark from that very same series. On Enterprise, he played Commander Sharan. And the guy's awesome. But it's kind of weird, though, how he was depicted in those two series. You can't tell, but it's the same actor. Because even though, yeah, it is Jeffrey Combs who plays Sharan, he looks like he's taller in that series. Now, Combs plays the doctor of this. Now, instead of like an actual house in the remake, it's a foreign mental institution, which is basically, looks like a big tower. If you actually see the film, it's basically a tower. Now, instead of using practical effects like they used in the original film, this film was a CGI fest. I don't have a really big problem with that, because the way the CGI looked, which is done really well for independent film, and this is my honest opinion about it, this film, along with 13 Ghosts, I do like these two as remakes. The remakes are good. The only two remakes I do like that are horror remakes are Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th. The rest I have seen are really bad. But House on the Haunted Hill is actually really good. It's a little bit better than the original film because it actually is a little more intimidating than the original film. Though, this film has a bit less atmosphere, more scares. Big grotesque stuff here and there. The film itself, as of right now, the film is only just 18. It's only like about 17 years old. It's not as old as the original film. I mean, the film came out, just by sheer coincidence, 40 years after the original film. Yeah, 40 years. Now, with this film I think is longer. Yeah, it's longer. It's basically, the remake is an hour and 33 minutes. That's how long this one is. Now, the other actors are in the film. You have Jeffrey Rush, who plays Stephen Price. Maggie Jameson, like I say, who plays his wife. Evelyn Stockland Price. Tay Diggs plays Eddie Baker. Jeffrey Combs, like I said, plays Dr. Richard Benjamin Vincent, they changed him in the sequel for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see. Chris Candy plays Woodson Prince. Ali Loretta as Sarah Wolf, who was referenced in the sequel. I will get to that soon. Bridget Wilson Severus plays Melissa Margaret Marr. Max Persh, who plays Carl Schleckler. Lisa Loeb, who plays, and everyone else just. Now, Peter Graves is in the film. Yeah, Peter Graves from the Mission Impossible series in the film. Yeah, he is. He's a minor role, but unlike in the original film where only one person died, this one most of the cast dies in this film. All but two people. One is Tay Diggs. The other, of course, is Sarah because she's referenced in the sequel. Though the black guy, they don't really reference him at all. But it's a pretty decent remake for what it is. It basically has a similar feel, but it's sort of it's more upbeat than the original. And the place are actually, which is called the Hill House, by the way. Even the remake, even the sequel, they call it the Hill House. The Institute itself, you know what's called the Hill House? The Institute is called, they don't say what the name of the Institute is, from the F5C. Let's see. Oh, interesting little fact. William Castle's daughter was a co-producer on the remake. So at least William Castle's family approved of the film. I mean, I myself, who has seen this film, actually liked it. But the film was pretty decent for what it is, and I give this one a 8.5. I think it's actually a little bit better than the original one. Now the sequel, which came out 8 years after the original one, came out in 2007, was direct-to-DVD sequel, which is on this very disc. This film was actually shorter than the previous film. And here's something really weird, though. It's the second shortest film of the three films. It's only an hour and 13 minutes. It's very short, and the special effects are still up to snuff as they definitely were, and it's the same level of special effects that Dark Castle Entertainment did for the previous film. They changed the doctor. Oh wait, they actually do keep the same doctor. It's probably a different one I'm thinking of. One thing quite weird about this film is that the various ghosts, basically, apparently they give an explanation of why the house acted the way it did in the previous film. Apparently it's caused by a ancient statue, which apparently two people were after, which apparently is inside the house itself. Okay. When I saw it, I'm happy the fact the house didn't change that much in the previous film. And apparently, I think, according to this, it's been a year since the previous film. Okay. So basically, it really is 8 years. And apparently Sarah, off screen, they probably couldn't get the actors back for some reason. And she apparently commits suicide, though it's later revealed that it was the guy who was the head of the rival team who killed her. And they count the various ghosts in this movie. A couple of the ghosts are really weird. I'm not kidding about this. There are two ghosts in the sequel to this movie, in Return to House on Haunted Hill, who are lesbians. I am not kidding. Who apparently start to do it with the only female member of the rival team, and then the evil doctor comes in and slices up her face. Okay. Now, by the end of the film, like the previous one, most of the cast dies. Heck, one guy is ripped to shreds by having 3 sheets tied to his limbs, and he's pulled apart by 4 ghosts. So basically, with Return to House on Haunted Hill, they up the gore in the sequel. And apparently, Sarah's sister in this film, her name is Ariel. Yeah. She apparently is kind of like some kind of chosen one-ish. I'm not sure what's up. Apparently she got out of the house before it locked herself up. But apparently herself, I think her boyfriend and her professor who was after this object, and the rival basically is out to just get the object and sell it for money. Like put it in some private collector's collection. The professor once put it in a museum, but because the object is so evil, they just use the shower system in the institute, and that's how they get the statue out. As for if they got the statue out, if they got the statue back, it's completely unknown. The statue's made complete for the film. As for the statue, the way it's explained in the film, it kind of does make sense of why it was basically the cause of everything that happened in the previous movie. Okay, fine. Now, as far as I know, Return to House on Haunted Hill is the only sequel to the remake. Now, I have not seen it if, in fact, that Dark Castle Entertainment is going to make a sequel. As far as I know, no, they're not. So, the sequel is a bit of a step down from the previous film, but it's still enjoyable for what it is, for people who like gore in films. I kind of do. But this one goes a bit over the top, but not way over the top. I give the film a 7 out of 10. It's a pretty decent film for what it is. But anybody who watches the sequel after they watch the remake, it's a bit of a step down. And the thing is, unlike in the original film, in the previous film, where you actually got a chance to know the characters during the course of the film, this one, you only know a few of them, and the rest are just basically cannon fodder. Yeah, the only people you get a chance to know is Ariel, the professor, and the rival guy. That's it. But As far as I know, everybody else is just canon fodder. That's the only thing that the film holds back from the previous film, because with the 5 random characters they chose from the previous movie, they actually had connection to the place. You actually had a chance to develop them over the course of the movie. This one suffers the fact that it doesn't have enough character development. That's my honest opinion about when it comes to the sequel. But it's still good. It's still good. It's still a really good sequel. I'm surprised they didn't release this in theaters. I mean, for people who like the original film, they're like, okay, that's a good film. And then we found that, then because it was released on DVD, people probably didn't notice that the House on Haunted Hill has sequel. That's the only thing I blame. I blame Dark Castle for that. But like I said, it's a good film. I do recommend it, but I do recommend also watching the original film first, then watch the remake, and then watch the sequel. That's the order I recommend watching, because House on Haunted Hill, like I said, it's only been 3 movies. The original, the remake, and the remake sequel. That's it. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is episode 38. And this one is a double feature. 2 movies to talk about. Okay? So until then, I will see you there. Bye.